All right, and I believe we are live. Hello,
Howdy.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the hour where we discuss Tim's potential involvement in organized crime. We're not sure. We're just gonna leave that one alone for now, I guess. Probably for everyone's safety. I don't. I prefer Tim not to wind up in cement shoes. That would be bad for the channel. So,
Oh no, I'm not in any danger. Don't worry.
I don't know if
that
this is the best way
bravado.
to start stream.
Yes, for
We're
all of
joking.
the organized crime people who watch the stream, they will find you. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, all of them, the whole crowd
Okay.
of.
Yes. Welcome to Lexington, Star Trek Lexington Last of the Line. Hi, welcome to the actual show we're doing about actual games and not people dying IRL. So let's just set that on the shelf for right now and get back to where we were last week. So, as per usual, now I get to I make these notes. I might as well use them. All right. So where we are right now is you currently have a plan that you're going to contact Tevar and the Archons to tell them about the Denzite under the Great Tree. Uh, but you did successfully enact your plan to secure Denzite from Gehenna. Found out that the vice director, Hannah Coulter, was one of the people who was brainwashed. She was attempted to stop you, but you just nailed some die rolls, and I'm both equally impressed and disappointed that things didn't get more interesting. But hey, that's how it went, and I cannot punish you for that. So you escaped with the Denzite. Let's see, you were about to be intercepted, but you successfully escaped with the Lexington. There's two Ardestian cruisers on an intercept course. There's also some uh, foreign cruisers, not foreign, Lestrin cruisers that will actually be able to intercept you. So you need to deal with
Are there?
that.
Because we didn't talk about there being actual cruisers over there. You talked about how we were going to be close enough that if there were cruisers, they
Okay,
could
I
potentially get
tipped
to
my
us.
hand. There will be cruisers.
Uh
Sorry,
huh.
I can't
All right.
remember what I said at the end. There will be. So just yeah. Um, but yeah, you're going to be traveling close to Lestrin space to avoid the Ardestians, but you'll wind up having to travel close enough to I forget the planet. Let me check. That you're definitely going to raise a few alarms. Yeah, you're going to be heading near Verona, around the Archer Nebula. So, all right, so that is where we
And those are
begin.
the people that we have the summit planned with, right?
Yes, those are the people you've been in contact with Lord Cladu, their leader. So yeah, you have that line of dialogue open.
Okay.
All right. So now, fun fact: you have those two art. Let me just actually switch you over to the map on this. Are you already there? Oh yeah, I never
We're
took it
on
off from last
Galaxy
The
time.
Map.
star map? Yeah.
Yeah, I never took it off from last time. So yeah, you already see it. Actually, hey, I forgot to start Edge to show the people back home. Let me get Edge started here real quick. I knew I was forgetting. I always forget something. All right, so you guys can see. So the plot, the course that you told me that you wanted to go, is basically going more in a northwesterly direction, going to be skirting around the nebula, but you're heading somewhat close to Verona because there are some cruisers coming from Johannesburg down the southwestern direction. And if you go a wide enough arc, you will be able to avoid them, we figured out, based on their speed.
Right. But
Yep.
yeah, we should probably reach out to Cladu then.
Okay.
I mean,
Then,
just in general, seems like a good idea.
all right. You're going to reach his secretary, and I was so tempted to do that same voice for her, but I've been too much.
The same everyone in the galaxy has the same secretary.
Yes, and she looks like a Lestrin, but the same. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Hello,
It's an
this is the.
eldritch entity.
It's something. Hello, this is the office of Lord Cladu. How may I direct your call?
This is SORAB, Lieutenant Commander SORAB of the USS Lexington. I've been in
Oh,
communication
I've
with.
heard about you folks. You're doing some real interesting stuff out there. I hope we don't have to kill you.
Yeah, me too. This is actually related to that concern.
Oh,
Yeah, so um, we we had is Lord Cledu available at the moment?
at present he's in a council meeting, so I will have to give him your message, unfortunately.
Okay. Could you go ahead and ask him to get back to me as soon as he can about passage near Verona? Or um,
Yeah.
do we know what they call the planet?
Uh, no idea.
Okay. I'm gonna say near planet that we have labeled as Verona. It's it's near the Archer Nebula.
You can give her the coordinates
Oh
of
yeah,
yeah.
it's coordinates. Yeah, I'm gonna ask about passing near this planet at these coordinates.
All right, that'll definitely be something for him to consider. Looking, he'll have to consult with the Lord who's over that particular region, but that's just internal politics that I don't know nearly enough about to care about. I mean, I'm just paid to sit here and answer phones all day. So, anywho, I'll make sure he gets your message, and we can get back to you at this address.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you have a lovely day, dear.
And yourself.
That is a
Was did
policy.
that lady?
Literally every secretary in this game sounds like that.
Fish is gonna lean over and is like, "Is it just me, or did that lady sound very similar to the other one we've contacted?"
Oh, you have no idea how many of you humanoids sound the same
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
me.
Okay, so let me get switched over so the folks back at home have some idea what's happening. All right, switching over to Star Trek map. All right, so they can see that. So let us plot then your course.
Right. So it was, if I remember correctly, it was. Well, we were here now by then. So it was like here,
Hmm.
here, and then here.
Yes, that looks right. So like we can just leave that up there. So that gives us.
Well, I can't because as soon as I
Oh,
let go of my mouse button, it's gonna
okay.
disappear.
You know what? I'm
I
just gonna
could
take. I'm
I could draw it, I guess.
actually do that again. I'm just take a photo of it just for my own reference, just for
Well,
distances.
I'll just draw it. I'll just draw it. Wait, why is it not
How does
working?
that work? Oh, it's like that.
Hmm.
How do I regular white
What the hell is happening out
not
there?
not
This
transparent?
way, and then
Okay.
we'll make it right here.
Good God.
Perfect time.
Okay.
Jack Thunder went on a bender.
Ah, that's
Ah,
wrong. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see how I always forget how the pen works in this game and it
yeah,
or in the
it's
system and it
funky,
throws me off.
and they keep
Okay.
changing it.
Ah! What the crap?
I'm
Oh.
sorry, I'm laughing, but it's funky.
Hold on a second. This is supposed to be pen line, not rectangle. Uh oh, that's what that is. Okay. All right, I think I got it this time, guys. I think I
Okay,
got it this time.
we believe in you, Tim.
Bam! There it is.
Okay, so let's measure
Oh.
this puppy out. All right. So leg one, yeah, it's just almost exactly 23 light years. Leg two is, let's say, we're 41 light years. All right, so 23 and 41. I'm gonna write that down. All right, so let's just do a little figuring. So that's going to be a total of 64 light years.
Right.
Now, if I recall correctly, you're wanting the ship to go at warp 8 point, was it 8 or 8 point? I think it was 8.5.
Whatever speed was going to get us to not get caught. I think
Is
the
this coming along as
factor here.
nicely as I think it is on my screen?
I mean, we see exactly what you see. Nice is a relative figure. Um,
Okay.
Oops.
All right. So
is that a Moonanite?
It's a SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
Lexington.
Well, all
It's
the
Doodle
numbers I
Bob.
can.
Yeah.
Dadgummit. Okay.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So it's going to. So if you're going at warp 8.5, which you can maintain for this, you can go 3 light years a day, and so that is a total of 64 light years. So it's going to take you just over 3 weeks.
Yeah. Which we calculated in.
Yep. All right. And so the current date after that is it is right now it is January 11th. So that means you will arrive there at early February.
At the wormhole station.
Yes.
Okay. And how screwed is Tavar going to be by then?
It's your drop dead date is May 24th.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So it's a little more than 3 months. About 3.5 months before. Of course, the amount of damage already happening, you need to consider that too. It's not like
Yeah.
everything is totally peachy until that day. It's like basically
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
by the time we hit March 10th, their Arctic will be an ocean. So
yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time. So okay, all right.
hey, maybe their tree will be underwater, so we can just like nuke it up anyways.
God damn it!
You can't destroy a holy site if there's no holy
You
light.
can't
I see
destroy
you're-
it if it's already destroyed.
I see you're not using that tree anymore.
Yeah, we just to be sure we have enough. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Good God.
Okay, so there's that. All right, so the things left to do is you're waiting on a callback from Pladu, and you were also going to call the Tavarans, the Archons. Do you still want to do that?
You know what? Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you're going to call just the Archons, the council of them, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to call, and it's going to come up, and the only people there are going to be Barbatos, or how do we pronounce his name, and Rel Laris, the ones from Mondstack and Liua.
Now, have we made any progress so far on alternative methods of saving Tavar?
You have no one has discussed it.
Okay. Before I call the Archons, I'd like to check in on that with the science team.
Okay. Um,
Hey, Fish.
Yeah.
Hey, you talk crazy scientist. Could you go and find out if we've made any progress on alternative ways to save Tavar?
I mean, we have the Algocli plan still in the back.
Yeah. But we also had a team working on plans that weren't Algocli or the wormhole. Can
I
you
see
just go
the
find out if
unpaid
they?
intern of ideas.
Yeah. We just want to have all of our options known before we call the Archons. You know.
okay.
Okay. I'll go yell at some people, see what I can find out.
Okay.
All right. So
I guess I'll go.
You're,
Yeah.
you're gonna go to the science people. That
Yes.
includes a bunch of people from Tavar and whatever scientists we have available for it. Okay, so
So, quick question: would we have found out? Would the knowledge of the chief scientist who went rogue have gotten to my ears by this point from the whole mission? Because she was like the
sure.
vice. Was she like the second in command or something?
Yes, she was the second in command of the entire wormhole project.
Okay. So I guess let's see. Okay. So we're going to the just the group scientists. Would that be Are you talking about the ones on our ship, or are we contacting ones that are like
No,
working
the
specifically?
ones on the ship who have been
Okay.
specifically working on alternatives for saving Tavar.
Yeah, it's a group project that has Tavaran scientists and our own scientists working together.
Okay, so I'll double check. So I'll just kind of like open the. Okay, so one of you is dead. So how's results going?
Literally, everyone in the entire room is just going to suddenly start looking at you, and then start looking at everyone like you're going to see someone doing a count.
It's like, they're like, no, that's not a threat.
Who's who's dead and how?
Um. Hmm. That one unimportant person who ended up getting killed because they wronged us.
Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? What was their title? What did they do?
Something about wormholes.
I look around like, wait, Dr. Coulter? From the
Yes,
Wormhole Project?
yes, that one.
What the hell happened?
From last I heard, we shot her. Or she
Why?
shot us. I think she shot us for some reason. So we shot her. And then we let her get tortured or something. I don't know. It's not important. What is important is that you could also be like her. So we don't need to worry about it until the situation arrives. In his mind, you could also be. He's like saying to himself, like, they could be brainwashed too. So he doesn't really care.
Well, that's the
Just gonna go
funny
about
thing.
this, but he isn't gonna specify.
Literally no one in this room could have been, because they've all been here the entire time or on Tavar. They've not been taken at all. It's like
She could have
none of them are
brainwashed them with
Cochrans.
She could have brainwashed one of them with some sort of brainwashing
Oh my
tech we don't
god.
know of.
I, sure, go off, I guess.
He doesn't care enough to.
Of course
He's
he
like, you
doesn't.
could be. It's unlikely, but you could be.
Well, now they're going to start looking at each other really nervously. There's some are going to kind of start backing away from each other, and there's going to be some whispering like, "I knew he was acting suspicious."
Don't worry. As long as you all work fast and get everything done, like these little ideas we're having you scrounge up from your gray matter, everything will be fine. So, any good ideas? There's no such thing as a bad idea. Now go ahead and tell me them.
All right, I need you both to roll roll 100, and anything 50 or above is going to be a success. So we're going to have two potential projects here that I'm just going to pull out of my ass.
Wait,
Okay.
50 and above? We're going high this
Sorry,
time?
50 and I consider above to be up to 1 because I've got this entire game inverted in my head. So sorry, 50 and below. Yes. 1 is above 50 because 1 is better in this game. I don't know. Yeah. I've been playing this game too long.
Okay.
Can we do it the other way?
Unfortunately not. All right, so coinless is a 57. Did you roll, Tim?
What? No, was I supposed to?
Yeah, you both are.
Oh, jeez.
Hey.
Okay. All right, so
yeah.
give me a second to pseudoscience this.
I want to hear the wrong one first.
All right. So plan 1 was to attach warp engines to the planet, but they figured out that would just rip the crust off, so that was a non-starter.
So I go up to them as they kind of say the plan. I put a hand on the shoulder. It's like, so earlier, when I said there's no bad ideas that can be presented, it turns out you were so useless that you were actually able to create an idea that was so unfathomably dumb. So get out. You just leave. Give me your coat and leave. Next idea.
Now, was it an actual plan you were working on? This was discussed months ago to like actually transport or do something with bringing in another object to try to gravitationally pull the planet. Where did that go? I don't remember.
Oh, you mean slingshotting a planet?
Or
Well, it wasn't. No, it wasn't slingshotting. It was a gravity break.
Yes. Where did that? I don't remember where that got, or because I know one thing was talking about. Well, hey,
Okay.
let's use the
Okay.
wormhole device to bring something in. They said, well, why then instead just don't transport the planet itself? So
We had 3 different teams.
Mhm.
One of them was One of them was going to investigate using the wormhole to move Tavar. One of them was looking into using the wormhole to move, or maybe other tech, to put something in place as a gravity break. And the other was this room coming up with ideas.
Gotcha. Okay. Um,
That because both those ideas were like, hey, that's crazy talk. Um oh no wait, I'm sorry, no wait. One of okay, I'm mistaken. One of the teams was using the wormhole to move something, whether it was a gravity break or Tavar. One of them was planning an evacuation of Tavar,
mhm.
and one of
Yeah.
them was this room.
Yeah.
And the Algokli was part of the plan, was part of the team for for evacuation because that was how we were going to make a planet prepared to handle them.
Right. Though logistically, you'll have figured out this late in the game, there's no way to get all those people to another planet in
At
time.
this point, it's just about getting as many as we can. Like
Yeah.
that's their goal is to get as many as
Well, at
possible.
that point, they
I
might as well just
remember.
take them to Terra too. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember a while ago I made a comment about stabilizing, like trying to use some sort of device in order to kind of like pull itself away and restabilize its orbit
Yes.
through like actual just like installing technology on the planet.
Okay. Then.
Kind of like a graviton thing, I think we are talking about.
All right. I know what we're gonna go with. So, one scientist is gonna go. Okay. Well, our team. We took some inspiration from the one thought of trying to transport another at body, planet, moon, or something to adjust Tavar's orbit. But then we realized we don't need an object, we just need gravity. And so we have been working on developing an artificial gravity well, one that we can switch on as long as we need to adjust the orbit and then switch off, boom, done. Um, in theory, it works, but we've obviously not had a chance to test anything being in this lab. But the concept seems sound. Um, I mean, we've heard something about you made a graviton bomb or something. That actually might be helpful for this. Though I don't know if we want to make it out of meat, if the rumors are true. But theory wise,
I won't make it out of meat if you can meet my expectations.
fair enough. So they're going to show you the basic schematics for the idea, and as best you can tell, it looks like it works. Although of course that's not your area of expertise.
Excuse me. What did you just
You're
say?
not doing surgery on the gravity well. You're
No, but I could be doing surgery on you in the future now, couldn't I?
damn it, Tim.
I just see
Oh,
like like one of the guys in the back, they like dropped their phone, like, oh, it actually played.
well, that was actually me, not the character. But anyhow, that I didn't specify that I was now out of character. But anyhow, so okay, so that is something else that you can take to Tavar. That you've got the Denzite, and there is a potential uh, for in the interim before the Denzite, before the wormhole, that they can attempt to stabilize the orbit of the planet at least somewhat.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I need to build a very big starfish bomb, like I had thought to do. Like that was what I remember. I made an idea, which was like if I could create a giant gravity bomb and just like put it like on the opposite, like parallel to the sun and the planet, like we could just like nudge it back. That was what. Now they're like, so if we make a gravity bomb, basically, it's like that's. I knew that. That was the idea.
Well, actually, if you say they're going to discuss and say, if we can
Yeah.
control the yield properly, it could be in bomb form. That would be substantially easier to make than something that has an on and off switch. Because, I mean, effectively, it only needs to be on for a certain amount of time, so if the explosion is controlled and at a precise yield, yeah, it would have the same effect. it's less controllable, but it would definitely be a hell of a lot simpler to put together.
Do I spot anyone having opened one of my notebooks? 'Cause
No, these are just science people. So
mm,
they're going to be able to extrapolate information like that. They're more science. If I could think of it, they sure as hell could think of it. Because I am not a science person. Okay, so gravity well, and you have the densite. So, anything else you want
perfect.
to go over before you make the call?
Mm,
No.
I guess, how do they feel about us detonating a bomb next to their atmosphere?
Well, we'll have to
It's
see. How,
all it's all in the phrasing, my friend.
yes.
Okay. Well,
Well,
yeah,
how
then
far out it
suppose.
is depends on a number of things too. So it could be the yield will determine the distance it needs to be from the planet. So we'll see. But that's for the eggheads to figure out. But right now, you're just gonna tell them you've got the concept down. So you're gonna be working on that. So okay, so you're gonna call, and you're gonna see. Let me pull up these damn names again. It's been so long since we dealt with these people.
Mm,
Let's see here. We've got
Bobbert and Tedward.
not quite. Let's see.
EMC.
Every time I say I need to reorganize the notes better, but I'm just
I thought that's what you were doing when I first got on the call an hour ago.
no, that was me. Well, first trying to fix my damned headphones.
Oh right, yeah.
Second, making sure that I had appropriate map made as a contingency. So no, that is not what I was doing, unfortunately. Let's see. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, you've got Bartaros and Rel Laris there. So you're gonna see they're sitting in the chamber they've been using, surrounded by advisors. Actually, some of them kind of running around with various pads of information. Both of them actually look more than a little frazzled. So the call is going to come through, and Rel Lars is going to look over and go, "Oh, Lexington. It's fortuitous that you called. We got a bit of a situation down here, more
I
than you
imagine
might
so.
think." No, actually, it's more than you think. Um, Somehow, information got out that there is a large deposit of densite underneath the Great Tree in Sumera, and Inazura and Shenzia are threatening to take it by force.
Ah.
That's because Shenzia is melting, and they're taking in refugees, and Inazura is slowly sinking basically into the ocean. They're an island nation after all. So yeah, things are going very well, very very well down here.
Okay.
How are things in space?
Oh, we have kind of a lot going on with various. We have a number of problems that we're trying to resolve right now. But in terms of Tavar, we have um, we have a couple leads that seem very promising, and we are actively on our way in to meet with the wormhole station to try to implement these, one or both of them. One of them is sounds more like the what you need to hear first is that we have secured densite, um, plenty of densite to carry out a plan that would involve using the wormhole to stabilize Tavar's orbit. Wormhole generator to stabilize Tavar's orbit, and um, provide proof of concept to use the wormhole uh, generator to get home. Um, So we are not in need of the densite at the tree right now. Hopefully we won't be in need of it at all. But if that information can at all be used to smooth things over with these nations, that would be, I hope you can use that.
He's gonna say, you know what? Let me, if they'll talk to each other, let me patch let me patch everyone else, the other nations in, because everyone needs to be hearing this right now, not just our two nations right now are the only ones that are really not at odds with each other. And we need this information the least. So okay, let me can we try to get the other three on? Gonna hear some shuffling in the background, and then one after another, bloop, bloop, bloop. Three are gonna come up. You're gonna see Balai. You're going to see Kusanara, and you're gonna see once again, not the Archon from Shinzia, but the first of the heralds, the big
Right.
dude. So immediately, uh, so immediately, Kusanara is going to say, "Why have you put me on a call with these two? You do realize what they are about to do to us, right?"
We're trying to actually work on that. We have secured plenty of densite to use the wormhole generator without needing to find an alternative source.
Kusanara is going to say, "See, okay, call the dogs off. Stay away from our tree.
We
Archons
are
help us."
we are on the way to the wormhole station right now to deliver that densite. Um, I we do need to have a conversation about possibilities with that test at some point. But at this time, we are on our way in with the densite that is needed for that test.
Okay.
The
Oh God, what's the guy's name? Prioraro, the guy from Shinzi, is going to say, "How long will it take you to get to the wormhole station?"
At current speed, we are expected to arrive by, and I'll say,
In 21 days.
yeah, 21 uh, Earth Terran days. I guess is it Terran days?
Yeah, or Earth days. Yeah. Well, you say
Yeah.
Terran days, they're going to think of Terra 2, but yeah, Earth days.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is Terra 2's like
Sure,
what
close enough for
what does take?
All right, so in Tavar, well, the way they're currently working, they're actually moving at about half normal speed. So that's going to be like 11 and a half current Tavaran days.
Right, but they're not going to be used to
For
that measure.
Yeah. So if they're old, yeah, approximately 24. It's like I love
Okay.
in Star Trek, everyone uses hours as measurements. So sure,
Yeah.
close enough. Yeah, 21 days. It
Good.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell them that.
When you say that, you're going to see Preraro, his face harden slightly, and you're going to see Balai's eyes sharpen, and going to say, "So we would have to wait," or Balai's going to say, "So we would have to wait another 21 days for them to even get the Denzite, let alone even be able to use it. Whereas alternately, we could secure the Denzite by this time tomorrow and have it to the wormhole project only a few days after that."
I understand that this is an emergency situation, and we are doing everything we can to resolve it as quickly as possible. And I'm going to have to ask you to seek help us seek solutions that are not going to leave everyone who survives this at each other's throats. It is imperative that everyone who gets through this is able to rebuild together. Now, we have been we were made aware of the densite under that tree and within that tree um, a little while ago, and we have been working on a proposal as a backup plan on ways that we could possibly reach out to you to maybe use that densite without damaging the tree or the relationships between the countries. This is not solidified yet, but it is a work in progress that we would like to discuss when people are willing to have a conversation.
Prerara was going to say this is probably the best opportunity you're going to get for any such conversation. So this would be the time to speak your piece. But before before you do that, I mean you need to understand one thing that my country and Balai's country here are facing. Even a span of 2 weeks will make a massive difference for us. Presently, Shinzia is facing a refugee crisis, primarily from Inazura, because they are flooding heavily and rapidly. Every day they're losing at least a few meters of shoreline. And where do those people go when everything's getting hot? They come to where it's coldest. We are running out of space to put them. Meanwhile, our glaciers are melting. We're also facing flooding issues, though not to the same degree. We are having to build dams and channels and reservoirs to handle all this runoff. So please understand that, yes, we would like to maintain friendly relations, but we would like to also make sure that our nations are intact to have said relations once this crisis has been abated. It's
I
very easy to make statements from your comfy starship out there, but down here, we are dying. And I mean that in the most literal sense of the term.
I I respect that. Um, I do not think that it's go. I don't think that you're going to improve the situation by actively killing each other. I think that there needs to be more acknowledgement of your reliance on one another than escalating conflict. Now, I do believe that part of acknowledging reliance on one another is going to mean the possibility of discussing that densite. Um, and we're not going to have a solution to that under threat of violence.
All right, Tim, I need you to make a roll for me.
Uh huh.
Negotiation, diplomacy with charisma with a negative 15 because they are really pissed.
Okay.
So that's 78 and 74, so that should come to an average of 76, so minus 15. You're rolling against a 61, I believe.
Okay. Here we go.
Here goes nothing. Oh,
What am I? What
Civil
was I
War it
rolling?
is then.
you got a 64. Okay,
Right, but what was I rolling against?
61.
61.
If
So
I
it's
point
it's
a
a
gun at his
76
head,
minus 15 is 61, I think. Am I right?
Well, that part is right. What did you say? The negotiation diplomacy 78 plus. What do I need to do with that? 78 plus. And he said charisma 4 divided by 2. Or that's 2 divided by 2 minus 15. Yeah, 61.
Yep. Okay. There's going to be a long pause. All right, how do I handle this? All right, so what was the way you phrased that last bit, Tim?
that that we're not going to be able to find a solution to this under threat of violence.
Balai is going to say, this will only be violent if the Sumerans do not just allow us to mine the densite. Whether or not this is violent is entirely in their hands. We're doing this for the good of the entire planet because, frankly, if we don't have this densite, there may not be a great tree to save and worship at the end of the day. So, pardon me if me and my people are somewhat unsympathetic to their attachment to a plant. When she says that, Kusanara, you're going to see, is just going to get livid.
Okay.
I wonder if they ever considered the tree's feelings.
Plants are people too. No,
Well, no, I'm just saying, if they have such a reverence for this tree, why don't they try to commune with it and then see if the tree would rather sacrifice itself for its people? Have you ever tried that? You probably got one of those tree lovers who probably has some sort of weird thing where they can communicate with it.
I don't know where we didn't begin to get to that, but
All
okay.
right.
Okay, Tim.
Okay. I'm gonna say so Kusanara is the guy from the country with the
Kusanara,
tree,
yes,
right?
that's the she's the Archon from Sumera.
All right. I'm gonna say okay. The other plan involves a artificial gravity well. Um, the team of scientists from Tavar and our own vessel have been working out the details of that. They believe that they're doing some final calculations on that, on exactly how strong it would need to be and where to place it, in order to get the best result. But they have that plan almost ready to go. Can I have an aside with Kusanara, please?
They're gonna say, look at each other and say, I suppose. So that'll everyone also, and it's just you and her.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna tell Kusanara. There's very little that we can offer to help you right now. And I don't know what the situation in terms of defending yourself from them is.
Compared to the combined might of those two nations, even if even if Liua and Mondstadt helped us, we would not stand a chance. We are a
Okay.
very peaceful nation, especially us. So, yes, it's basically they would just be able to come in here and do whatever they wanted.
Okay. We have been working out some ideas. We were hoping to reach out to you with some plans on how we could access the densite within the tree by way without making direct contact or damage to the tree. The hope was that by the time we reached out to you, we would have the details down and would be able to discuss it as a theoretical.
You just hear in the back someone say, "Meat slugs."
Um, however, however, given the nature of the situation, I think that if there is a peaceful option that where you can find a way for us to connect with the tree, with the research that we've been doing on this idea. If you can take that idea to Shenzia and the
Inazura,
um
yeah.
Inazura, um, I think you'll have at least a little bit of leverage, but they will see cooperation and hopefully accept that as leverage to not attack.
She's gonna pause a second and say, it's hard to explain how revered this tree and we keep calling Denzai, but we consider here Ursuline or the entire thing, how all of it is revered to the point of, I don't know how much you know about the situation, but there's literally a kilometer exclusion zone in every direction, and
Mm-hmm.
for another 100 kilometers every direction beyond that, it's heavily restricted. The difficulty is not Shinzia and Inazura. The difficulty is how the people would react to this happening. Now, for me, being the Archon, I have every right and every privilege to act on this. However, I can't just make all the people ignore or forget literal millennia of tradition, even if it is to save the entire planet. I'm asking people to go against or to effectively commit blasphemy on an incredible level. No matter how much of a reason, how good of a reason is, it's still our nation might survive physically, but doing that, I don't know how it would weather it spiritually.
Now, what you're describing, is this if anything should happen to the tree, or is this simply interacting with the tree in any way?
Interacting in the tree with any way that's not according to tradition, scripture, etc.
What sort of interactions are?
There is an annual pilgrimage to the tree. Um, it's pretty. I lead that. It's largely just a worship. I don't know, event's not the right term, but it goes well beyond an event. It's the central calendar day of the entire Sumerian calendar.
What
It's everything else centers around that day.
what is the role of the like? What is it that your people believe about the tree?
We believe that my ancestor, um, in the line of the Sumerian archons, was birthed from a seed from that tree millennia ago. And so effectively that tree is it isn't it, in some sense it's almost above me and being the parent of the archons. It's not considered a god, it's in its own category that I'm not sure if there's really an equivalent in any religion that I'm aware the Federation has. It's, well, I guess the closest is I know there's something called the Virgin Mary in Christianity, that she gave birth to God, something along those lines. But whatever reverence there is for the Virgin Mary does not even begin to compare to the reverence to Ursuline.
Would it be possible? Obviously, there's an emergency happening on your planet and within your country. Would it be possible to call to host a pilgrimage to the tree under the understanding that the goal of your people at the tree at that time will be to commune with and appeal to and care for the tree while
We lobotomize it. I don't care, choice.
well well so that they have a presence and some amount of control over what is happening while we try a non-invasive attempt to commune with the tree through technology.
All right, we're going to need another roll. It's going to be the same roll, but also with a 15, negative 15. This negative 15 is for blasphemy.
Okay. So it's
61.
Same. Okay.
Yeah.
The same negative 15.
Ugh.
Oh, geez.
Okay. Wouldn't have made it even without the negative. Okay. All right, so
I haven't cleansed my dice. I'm gonna do a couple rolls.
What's my I just want to know what my stats are for being able to communicate. I know they're horrible,
oh
but I
god.
just want to see if I yell at them loud enough if they just came.
You know, it's going to be funny enough that I'm going to allow that because you're here, you're in this conversation because you're
Yeah.
part of the science thing. Okay, so your charisma is 55. Negotiation diplomacy, you have none.
Yes.
So, you would be rolling uh the average of 0 and 55 with a negative 30. So, so half of 55 minus 30 is what your roll would be.
Half of 55 minus 30.
Yes.
So 25?
No.
Well, that'd be 12 and a half, so 13.
12 and a half? No, wait, yeah. No, wait, 50 divide. Wait,
So
was it a
50,
three-way division or two?
it's half of 55 minus 30. So actually, you're dealing with a
Oh,
negative number.
half of 55 minus 30. So that's
Yes.
a negative number.
That is a negative number. So you can try, but unless you get
It is a negative number?
yes.
Yeah.
Because
Half of 50.
half of
I thought
55
you
Oh,
were-
is
you know,
I
you're
thought-
right, you're right, you're right.
I thought you were saying 55 minus 30 and then half that.
No,
but you're
no,
saying
no.
half 55 and then
Yeah,
subtract 30.
the modifier always applies after the calculation is done because it's 0 plus 55 divided by 2, and then you take the minus.
So basically, I need to get a nat 1.
You need to get
Yeah.
a 1 in order for this to work.
But basically, we've already hit the point where they're not going to be doing anything. Is that true?
Unless you're able to do anything. So let her. She's going to speak first.
Okay.
And then you can get to your thing. She's going to say, Lieutenant Commander, I understand the wisdom of your words. Haven't I mean that's honestly my role as an archon to recognize these things. But I also know the heart of my people, and that they would rather burn. They would rather the entire planet burn than to commit blasphemy on this level. I I'll see if there's something I can do, but I don't want you to get your hopes up that this is anything but a non-starter without inciting some mass religious panic in my country.
I mean, look, at this point, we're coming with the Denzite, and we're getting there as fast as we can. We are working on an alternative plan that won't involve Denzite at all. At this point, pitching this idea to you is more of a hope that you can use it than anything that would make a difference on my end.
I might. The best I can do with this. No, they're not going to wait. I cannot. I don't. I cannot imagine any situation in which I'm able to stall the Shenzians and Inazurans with anything short of something concrete. Giving them a promise, maybe I could do this. That's.
Now, real quick, Tripper, we've already been evacuating people off the planet, right?
I mean, as much capacity as they can muster, but the Cochranes don't have ships to spare. Honestly,
Right.
They have somewhat begrudging. Actually, it's kind of happening in secret. What they have been able to spare, they have found a nice secluded place to keep them on another continent on Terra 2. But we're dealing so far. There's maybe less than 100,000 people
Right.
based on the
Okay.
You
distance,
guys,
the capacity of the ships. Yeah.
do you guys think an entirely new habitable planet is a good bargaining chip?
Um, you have to you'd have to make one because there aren't any.
I know, but we're kind of doing that already. Like we have the tech to make an entirely new, like, planet, correct? With the whole Algokli thing going on, that was basically set in stone.
Yeah,
That was
that's basically So what kind of bargaining chip would that be?
Well, I'm just saying, when we go to the red wedding meeting, we could totally couldn't we? This is a thought. It's like, wouldn't like trying to establish a sort of neutral like a neutral colony, like be a good thing? Like this is just kind of a thing that came to mind. Like if we established a new planet and we could set it up as a neutral zone moving forward, as like, hey, if you guys choose to work together, we're gonna allow like it's gonna be like we can make this new planet for you guys to populate, and that could be like the first, you know, neutral ground that they could kind of build off of
Okay, who
as
are
a
you
sort of
talking about? The
this was
Lestrans,
just
the
this is sort of
Conference?
just an
Who?
out of context question that I thought of, like a like when we have the meeting with, you know, the yellows, the blues, and the reds,
Well, it's
because
just
they
gonna be the
all,
yellows, but yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, but it's like when we come to, or like whoever we make an alliance with when we're trying to like settle things, I feel like that would be a pretty good bargaining chip. You know, that would really sweeten the pot, like an entire fresh planet terraforming tech. I don't know.
I mean, if you can find a way to incorporate that, sure. Of course, that has nothing to do with being discussed right now.
I know, it just came to my mind. I'm like, I feel like that's probably important, like a good enough
You
question to
can
bring up before I
keep that in
forget.
your back pocket for when you think it might be usable. I mean, sure,
Mm.
that's an important thing. What
What's the
use
range of
it'll
the
have.
teleporter on the Lexington?
The Oh gosh, um
I
that's
mean,
another
so
thing that Star Trek's never been consistent on.
right, but I mean, okay, so Scotty figured out how to do
Transport
teleport.
beaming. We don't talk about the Kelvin universe.
I thought that was also true of the regular, but okay.
uh, well, that was if it was, then it was invented in like the 2300s, late 2300s, after he was rescued from the Janolan. So the 2370s at the earliest.
There's always a good chance for a cheap knockoff.
But it wasn't a technological advancement at that point. It was a you figuring out how to use it.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Okay.
until then. Okay, so according to all right, so in the original series era, according to the TOS Writer's Guide, 40,000 kilometers. So let's just say 50,000 to make it a nice round number with technological improvements over the last however long. So 50,000 kilometers is the range for transporters. So if you're
Okay.
thinking bridging people, transporting them from the planet to Lexington to Terra 2, unfortunately that's well outside the range.
What's the computer is huge though.
On the Lexington?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the computer capacity is enormous. Okay. Um. Okay. This is irrelevant to the current conversation. All right.
Okay.
So. Yeah. So I'm basically gonna tell her. I mean, I'm offering you what I have. If there's a way you can use it to help protect your people, I encourage you to do so, and you will do so with my full backing, with the full backing of the Lexington. But like, if there isn't a way to use it, then I, you know, we're going to be on our way there with both plans in tow. Um,
Out
as
here,
far as
did you tell the others about the gravity well plan?
yes,
Okay, couldn't remember if you did.
yeah, I told them that the other plan was an artificial gravity well, and
Okay,
that the team was finalizing calculations for the size and distance
right.
it
I
would
couldn't
need
remember
to
if you
be.
told that to her or all of them.
No, that was the whole room.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I asked to talk to.
Okay, so Fish can interject anytime he wants with whatever nonsense he had.
Yeah,
The only caveat is how horribly would it would affect our relations with other people? Would it affect stuff for Tim, or would it just be like me that gets affected negatively, like in
Um,
charisma roles with them in the future?
it probably depends on how I
just
react to it.
yeah, that too, but also just based on your overall demeanor, I think people pretty well get the idea. Yeah, he doesn't speak for anyone else. So
Okay,
I'll
I
give
just
you,
don't
you
want to.
just
Yeah,
do it. We'll be fine.
I just don't want to be like crippling other people in the process of like being.
Just take the cane right to the kneecap.
Yeah.
So can you describe like so? What is the Archon like again?
All
Like
right,
this Archon?
she's short. She's 500 years old, but she looks like she's like a preteen.
Okay.
Um, but she's
Oh, he's going full vicious mockery.
Yeah.
but she definitely acts far beyond her years.
Okay, child. I hear what you're saying, but I have one question for you. What's the purpose of a tree?
Oh, God.
She's going to say, trying to get over that child comment, but the purpose of the average tree is to provide oxygen
Hmm.
and shade, and for other trees, potentially fruit or lumber, but the only one that really applies to this tree is going to be the oxygen and shade thing,
Hmm.
beyond being the center of our entire religion.
Yes, but quite the short-sighted view, if I do say so. I believe that trees' purpose is to complete their cycle. They grow, they produce, eventually, they create more trees, then they die, and give room for the next generation to continue on. You say that your previous Archon was much, well, like a seed that came from this tree. It grew, and with time, it produced a civilization from said tree. It created its own roots out from where it came originally. And yet, you, for some reason, are so blinded by your past that you can't see the bigger picture. I am one that really does prefer the bigger picture. And I do believe that by not moving forward, choosing to let this relic complete its cycle and preserve it well beyond its initial purpose is cruel and in some ways, well, very short sighted. The reason I believe that this is the wrong choice is because the tree itself has to one day come to an end, whether you like it or not. And I believe that this is, in some ways, the correct time for the next stage to go. As you go forward, have you ever heard of the idea of when trees burn down, a forest goes to ruin from fire? What comes from that are saplings nourished by the carnage of the previous. It is nature, and I believe that it is time for you to let that go. Allow nature to run its course. Allow the tree to meet its end. But
You
what do I know? I'm just a scientist, aren't I? I kind of just sit down.
you remember it wasn't like you remember that it wasn't that she didn't understand the value of this, right?
No, but I'm just saying it's. Oh no, I understand it. I'm just saying who the heck, and to put it into layman's terms, who the fuck gives a shit about a damn tree? It's gonna die.
Okay, all right,
Just
because
do it,
Uh,
anyways.
I think I'm hitting the mute button as soon as he says, "Who the?" I
It's
will
like
make a
I
dexterity
tried.
check if
Okay,
you need me to.
I tried to be. What do you want from me?
all
I
right.
tried it. Did I politics well? Hmm. I
So,
feel like if I didn't end it that way, it would.
all right. Well, so
Pardon my
was what you
French.
said in character, Tim, as far as with the tree and she understanding?
uh, well,
It was more of a general statement, in because I feel, at least out of character, I feel a lot of what their whole thing is like,
well,
oh, if I say this, my people, it's like you gotta just do it. It doesn't matter whether on the whole societal thing. It's like if everybody dies, it doesn't matter. You're like actually in a lot of ways like they're not following through with the purpose that the trees, the whole thing was. They birthed the seed. That was the first archon that flourished a future generation. And I'm trying to make them infer in the sense of I did it poorly because I was doing it on the, off the cuff. But It was trying to kind of infer the concept of if they don't just move forward, it doesn't matter. They're kind of going against their own tree's ideology. If they worship the tree as the mother, like then dying for the mother is not the wishes of the mother. They're basically
Okay.
turning against the religion in some ways,
All
turning
right.
against the tree by not trying to save themselves.
So, because A, that actually made sense. B, that was damn entertaining. And
Yeah.
C, I want to give it some shot because if this works, it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah. Also, you never rolled.
Well, he
Yeah.
hasn't done that yet. So, having said all that, now's the roll. Instead of a -30, you're only taking a -15, which means you're rolling against
Hey.
a 13.
That's something.
If I swear
That's
to
something.
God, if this works, I am going to just be so happy.
I know it's like a 1 in 10 chance.
It's a
I don't get these often, but I just say before I roll anything, and it stops meaning anything if I get it wrong.
yeah.
This is one of those few moments where like I was like, maybe if I just really try to just
Yeah.
try to do something, I can get some bonus points. And
And you were correct.
yay. Okay, now time for the roll. Goodbye. Oh, that's not bad, but it wasn't enough.
Bad, but it was definitely not. Unfortunately, not. Definitely not there. All right, so
If I put wait, is this a does this count as a life or death situation since it's an entire society?
Luck. Yes.
This technically
God. Oh, I'm conflicted.
this so the question can I roll a
Well,
50
it's
50
not
whether this
your life or death. That's the problem. It only
okay.
applies if you're the one that's about to die.
Okay. So
Oh no.
if I s- if let's see. I'm trying to think of how I could almost kill myself
Oh jeez.
without almost killing myself. This is a good question. This is a good question. If I do a whole thing where like I point a phaser at my head and I
Self-induced
say,
stupidity does not count.
no, 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 it's called a power move.
Self-induced stupidity does not
No, no,
count.
no, 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 no,
What
no,
if
hear
I
me out.
chain myself to the tree?
If
No,
you okay, if you try to hang yourself, you do not get to roll luck to see if the rope breaks.
no, 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 no. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to call their bluff.
Oh Jesus.
I'm
And what
trying to
bluff is
say,
that?
I was like, if you don't, I'm trying to call the bluff in the sense of if you don't try to save, like if you don't try to go through with saving your civilization by sacrificing the tree, I'm gonna turn this whole freaking ship around. And it's like we're just gonna cut ties completely. It's like why should we help you if you're not gonna help yourselves? And I'm trying to, and I want to see if that bluff can work. It's like, you know what? It's like we don't care about you people. If you're not going to save yourselves, you're clearly idiots. Why
Man,
should we bother saving?
I wish Matt was here because he would
Oh
just
my
be having
goodness.
kittens right now.
Oh God. Yeah.
Can I call their bluff?
No, you cannot.
Can I roll street? Can I roll streetwise for calling their? Can I do a streetwise roll that's better for like just like a rage and just like kind of like flip the table?
Oh God, what is even happening right now?
I'm gambling here,
You are
which is to
gambling
be a
here.
streetwise situation. I'm trying to see if I can intimidate this 500-year-old child, 5,000-year-old child,
500.
500-year-old child, because I bet you 10 to 1 that they have never, at least when it comes to their civilization, had to have been intimidated by someone who is not an archon.
Hmm.
I feel like and holding their entire planet, even if it's not going to happen, but they don't entirely know that I don't have the power to make at least a small decision on the matter of turning the ship around. So I want to know, can I call their bluff? Can I
All right.
call?
So first, she has to respond to the last thing you said. I don't think
Uh-huh.
she did that yet.
No, he did not.
So hold that thought. She's gonna say, Doctor,
I'm like,
I understand. I am in complete agreement with you on that. That's
Mhm.
there's no way, shape, or form do I not believe that, and That is a perspective I hadn't considered, but yes, that if the tree could speak to us, would the tree want all of us to die? No, of course not. That's would be stupid. Um, unfortunately, trees don't talk, and there's no way to convince an entire nation of billion plus people that what they and their ancestors and their ancestors' ancestors held to for countless generations is changeable or can be thrown out the window. So I don't know how. I know some religions have a tendency to change over time, but this is not one of them. There has not been a single change in this religion. The closest thing to a change was my birth, um, and when I was installed as the newest Archon. But that's just the only thing that was changed is the name on everything. Other than that, I've been doing the same role that my ancestors have been doing ever since the beginning.
Well, I have only thing to say. Talk to the hand. And I don't mean, as I say that, I don't mean that in a metaphorical sense. I pull out Mr. Crystal from my pocket and I say, "You see this? You say that trees don't talk. Well, I made a hand talk." And then I pull back some of its like outer layer to show the like actual like interior workings of this like hand puppet thing. And it's like,
What is
I
this?
have done things and can do things. Your feeble mind could never comprehend. I tried being nice, and I'm just trying to go full psycho on them. It's like,
Right on the chicken.
I was like, if you think there's a god in this world, then I'm here to tell you one thing. If there is, I haven't met them, and it's most likely going to be me in the future. We hold the power of your entire planet within the palm of our hands. Whether you live or die is on us. And if you think that your civilization is
Can
willing
I
to
have
die,
actually
I
muted
will
the call?
prove to you that there is a fate far worse than death.
What was that, Tim?
Can I have actually muted the call?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you said mute, it has been muted ever since. He's just talking to static. Although her face has had some of the color drained on it, but now she looks kind of confused because she
I
just
look
sees him
back
going
to-
like with a sock
I look-
puppet, right? Just
I see that like it's muted. I turn back very calmly. It's like it was working. You just needed to give me a bit more time. I could see
that is not the face of it working.
Yes, it is. I've seen what crushed Will looks like, and she was in the palm of our hands. We could have easily crushed this 5-year-old child's heart in moments. It's like sometimes if I tried the good way, like you do, but you see, it didn't work. So I tried to threaten her soul.
Okay, but the problem is she's not the hurdle here.
But she is. All we need to do is just put the fear into her, and it'll spread to her people. If we make them more afraid of death through her than they are of saving the tree, it works. All we have to do is make them more afraid to die than they are afraid to sacrifice themselves for a tree. And if that is by creating a terrifying demon-like figure in their religion, I don't see how that's bad.
oh my god above.
Save the people in exchange for creating a Satan in their religion. It's fine.
Unmute. So we'll send along the data that we have on the gravity bomb as soon as we have it. Let us know if you come up with anything that we can help with. We'll continue exploring options on our end.
Slowly put the skin back on the puppet.
She's going to say, okay. I guess let's join back in the main call to see if there's
No
anything
fear.
happening there.
Yes.
I walk out. Just like dead eye.
So, gonna go back to the main call. Now it's gonna be all 5 of them. you're gonna come back into the middle of Ferraro, basically yelling at Reolaris and Bartaros, saying, "It must be very easy in your cushy, temperate climates through this whole situation. You're just having to turn the air conditioner up a few notches. You do not understand what is happening in my nation or in."
Oh, for crying out loud, your whole fucking planet is dying. Can you get off yourself for 5 seconds?
Yes, that's what I'm talking
We
about.
are trying to find a solution that works for everybody, and everybody turning on each other is going to prevent that from happening.
Such a diplomat we have here. Okay.
Sometimes that's what diplomacy looks like.
I like to imagine when everyone came back, they're just like, is she crying?
No, they're
No.
just gonna be like, she's. Belai is going to say, "She looks more terrified now than we've been able to make her this last few days. I'm sorry, what was this conversation about?"
we had a discussion about whether or not we had, between the two of us, a way to access the densite within the tree without her people completely turning on her. It is admittedly a work in progress. However, we do have the plan also on the table to use an artificial gravity well, which I mentioned briefly, which would not use densite at all, to stabilize the planet, put it into an orbit where we can undo the ecological damage and have the planet operate on a stable basis until we can get it home back to the Milky Way galaxy. The problem with any of these plans, obviously, part of it is timing. Now, once we have the schematics and the information and the math for the gravity well, we can send that immediately. Obviously, the plan with the densite is going to rely on the time it takes for us to physically get the densite there. But so I think that the best option going forward, because even if you ignored all sense and just attacked this tree to get the densite out of it and then send it over to the wormhole generator, it's still going to take time to extract it, to process it into a usable form, to get it into the wormhole generator, and then to apply the test. You're only saving so much time from us arriving. However, I believe that the artificial gravity plan will be ready before either of those can happen. As I said, they're just finalizing the calculations at this point. Can we, all of us, put the fighting aside long enough to pursue that option?
I'll give you a third and final chance at this. So
Okay.
another 61, because again, it is an uphill
Got
fight.
this. You got this. Yeah.
Okay.
That's our persuasion captain right there, our master of the spoken word.
All right. So there's got to be a silence. Ferraro is going to say, "Belai, might we also take an aside briefly to discuss this proposition?" She'll nod, she'll blink off, he'll blink off. So now it's just you and the other three. You're going to see Kusanara breathe a long sigh of relief and
So, how's evacuations going?
well,
I assume they're prioritizing the other nations that are in more dire immediate threat.
uh, yes, none of, yeah, Kusanara saying, None of my people are willing to leave, um, as I expected. Or I'm sure if any of them actually were willing to leave, peer pressure is a hell of a drug. So yeah, we've had no evacuees. Yes, the majority have come. We have been prioritizing Missouri because they are legitimately. They're not wrong. They are losing landmass at an alarming
Mhm.
rate. They they can only crowd so many people on what remaining land there is before it starts becoming too big of a problem. Um, Shinzia has actually been using their own ships
Mm.
to try to get people off. So they're sublight, but better on a ship that's going to take a while to get to the destination than it is to burn to death, I suppose.
Mm.
So yeah, altogether, less than 100,000 have made it to Terra 2, and they just really cannot spare many ships to help us. We're other than the Shenzians and their sublight ships, they're entirely at the mercy of the Cochrans, and they are doing. I think they're doing as much as they can. Then again, from what we've seen of their xenophobia, it's entirely possible that they're not entirely motivated to help. But
It's hard to tell. I mean, they are also engaged in an active war, which
oh, of course, that's what
are
that's the excuse we've been given. But how whether that's 100% of the issue or not, there's no way of knowing.
now we are uh after we're done at the wormhole station, after we're done dropping the stuff off at the wormhole station, we are going to a summit that we believe may begin the process of ending that war, and possibly get help from at least one of the native species of this galaxy.
Well, that might be some help, depending on how quickly that can happen.
I mean, I don't know if it'll happen in time.
There's a lot of maybes right now. I don't like maybes.
Yeah. However, it is a thing we're working on. It is part of what we're working on. I'm
Right.
actually waiting on a call back from the Lestrans now. But we're working. I
Well, at the very least, I can say that and I'm sure that everyone else who would put any thought into it are very grateful for the efforts you've been doing. Honestly, yes, if it weren't for the Lexington, we probably wouldn't have any hope right now. So, eh, if our religion changes, it might be adding the ship into our, might be deifying you people just a little bit.
mm,
I'll see if I can get any progress on that. Not really, but it was funny to say. Anyhow,
uh,
um, Relalaris, Bartaros, do you have anything to add? Because I'm a little frazzled right now. So Bartaros, as earlier when you called, he was like looking over a pad. Now he's doing his customary leaning back in a chair, feet on the table, with a beverage of some type in his hand. He's going to say, well, at times like this, all I know how to do is just kick back, relax, have a drink, and just kind of wait for answers to appear. And then he's going to take a long drink and say, yeah,
and when they evacuate people, they're just beaming them up like into the ship as
yes.
full physical beings, and then
Yeah,
leaving.
that's what
Right?
that's what the Cochrans are doing, yes.
Why the hell do we do that?
Hmm.
I need to talk to some people. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna mute. Uh, I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna ask. Well, I guess. Dang it! None of the people that I would want to ask are have their players here. Uh,
I
I'm
can try.
here.
but basically, I'm gonna ask. So we're all aware that like the transporters don't have to print people out immediately, right?
whoever you're asking someone in science, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. They can hold up to. Let's see, our transporters can hold up to 6 individuals, one per pad, because that takes an exorbitant amount of data. You would not believe how much information is contained in a sentient being.
Oh,
Right, but
I
that's the
think
amount of
I
computer
know.
space we dedicate to the transporters. That's not the whole computer.
That's approximately equivalent to the remainder of the computer.
What I'm hearing is we need some unethical attachments.
Well, I mean, because the thing is, the teleporter clearly can store people, edit them, print multiple copies of them. Like it's capable of doing all of this stuff. I just assumed that there was an ethical thing within the Federation because of the eugenics wars that you don't explore
All right, so yeah, you say
that.
okay, yes, technically we. Well, I mean, you've seen there's been transporter accidents where that sort of thing has happened. I remember one time Captain Kirk apparently got split into a good and evil half. That was a interesting story. Yeah, that's standard reading in the academy if you're going into transporter ops. Basically say don't do this. Now, yes, that is possible, but the limitation is there's only so much memory, so much storage. That's again, it takes an incredible amount of storage for even one individual, let alone multiple. Um, so yes, we would effectively have to dump the remainder of the computer core just to double our capacity, and that would be 12 people.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to go back to the call.
All right. Right after you get back, hey, guess who returns? It's going to be Belai and Ferraro, and they're going to say, all right, Lieutenant Commander, we will delay our action for 1 week on the condition that you are able to come up with a functional device, the gravity well, that we would be able to manufacture ourselves.
Okay.
If you fail to do that within a week, we will proceed with our initial plans for securing the Denzite.
Noted.
All right. I believe that is everything I have to say. Call cuts out, at least for Ferraro.
Right.
Belai will nod, say, that is also all from me. Cut. And now it's
Right.
back to the 4 of you. Well, 5 if you count Fish.
Right.
If you hadn't been
Okay.
thrown out yet.
No,
I
well,
mean, I never
I
threw it out.
walked out when I said
Yeah.
no
Oh,
fear.
right.
All right. Well, I
Probably
guess
came back
we'll.
by now with a sandwich.
Yeah. I guess we'll get working on that. Dr. Fish,
Uh huh.
would you mind? Could you go back to the team that's working on the gravity well project and incentivize them to have this designed
Threaten them. Got it.
using Tavaran technology, so that the
Threaten them with
Tavarans can build it
Tavaran
themselves?
technology. Got it.
No, they need to have a working plan that the Tavarans can build and ready in 4 days.
I'll make it 2 with torture. No, I'm joking. I can't. I can't. I don't hurt people. At least not physically.
But it's the emotional scars that run the deepest.
Apparently, I have. I took so many years of psychology courses just to be able to inject the most deep scars into someone's psyche. It's very impressive. It's like that's why I was like maybe that's why he became a therapist.
Say less, please. Okay.
But don't worry, my end goal is always to improve humanity. And sometimes you need to scar a few people in order to figure out how you can fix them.
Uh, yeah, my ethics aren't screaming
Okay.
at me right
Thanks.
now.
Bye.
I caught the tail end of that they mentioned about Kirk try like when he went through a teleporter and a good side and bad side came out. When I was in the academy, I didn't believe it, so I tested it out and I was proven it is wrong. I tried to split myself in the same way, and I just came out as one person still, even though I followed everything perfectly. There should have been the good and bad side should have split, but there's only one. I guess it's strange.
Only the bad side.
We we're gonna not include that in your file. I mean, it's not really my decision, but I feel
Must
like
mean I'm pure good. Mm.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Fish.
Of course.
Dr. Soon. Thank you, Dr. Soon.
So you want to
Yeah,
go down
fish.
there and crack the whip now?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll
I
go
want.
down there.
Please play this out. Please play this out.
Okay, so I guess so again, I need to basically just push them to make the gravity bomb, right?
They need to have a working design that they can send to
Okay.
Tavar that they can
That
build.
Tavar can build with the math done. And
Okay.
um,
I open the door and I walk
our
in.
our timeline goal is 4 days.
Okay. Hello everyone.
Uh
I've returned with good news.
oh.
Yes. You have 4 days to build a functioning schematic for building the gravity bomb, or everyone dies and a war starts.
You're gonna hear someone somewhere drops a glass beaker. You're just gonna hear.
No need to get dramatic.
One of the scientists, I guess one of the lead guys, is gonna go. I'm gonna need you to back up a second and elaborate on that.
So, after threatening one of their gods to almost tears, didn't really pan out and them deciding to listen to us. Um, I left the room for a sandwich, and when I came back, Sorab informed me that we need to build the graviton device we had talked about in 4 days. And I'm supposed to, and
Wow.
per his own order, I have full reign to incentivize you all to get it done within that allotted time. So,
What was
I'm gonna
this
have
about a war?
I'm gonna have so many voicemails.
Yes, Tim, you are now the HR department.
God.
So what's to say? I'm sorry, that wasn't the point. I wanted to elaboration on. What's this about everyone dying and there being a war?
I mean, everyone's gonna die eventually. They're just
What's
gonna
about the
die in
war?
fire. Okay, so you see, there's this big old tree that you obviously know about, as we discussed in the worm plan. I mean, the other plans, as I kind of point to the board that I imagine still in the room from my. No one had the courage to erase what I wrote. I kind of just go. So basically, we've managed to secure the appropriate amount of densite, as you know, and now we need to build the graviton bomb in order to stabilize it. If we aren't able to do this in 4 days, or rather, you aren't able to do it in 4 days, uh, there is likely to be a conflict between the different groups of the planet. So war is probably putting it lightly. It's probably going to be a scorched earth tactic, even before the sun gets closer to it.
Who's gonna be fighting who?
Let's just assume everyone. That's probably how it is going to go.
You're gonna hear
Everyone.
you're gonna hear another beaker. Just
Everyone's gonna be fighting everyone. The
Planet
default
fighting each
state.
other, probably us fighting the planet because we remember what happened on Terra T2. I can't imagine it not happening on a planet that actually doesn't like us very much.
so you're gonna hear a lot of murmuring and whispering. Then one team is gonna go. All right, guys, that's us. Everyone else, whatever else you're doing, just drop it. We need all hands on deck for this one. You're gonna hear a lot of nods, agreement. Just everyone's just gonna start crowding around like one area. You're just gonna hear a lot. It's gonna be some shouting. Gonna just it's chaos. It's glorious chaos. because Fish was there. It's always chaos.
And then the last thing is, I do need to give you an incentive. So I've decided
War
this.
isn't incentive enough.
No, incentive is whoever does the worst gets to ask what gets one special present from me, out of pity. Good luck, and I walk out.
Then they're gonna get back together and they're gonna be like talking even louder. It's gonna be even more energetic. Like, I don't want it. I don't care what it is.
And then me in my head, I hope they enjoyed the little robot I'm gonna build for them. They're probably gonna feel really bad about being the worst out of the group. Truly, the worst thing that could happen is being the biggest failure.
All right. So that happened. I think it's about time for the callback from Lord Cladu. What do you think?
Mm.
Yeah,
All right. So that's gonna
sure.
happen. You're gonna get the call, and you're gonna take it wherever you'd like to take it. That room again, the bridge, doesn't matter to me. Just tell me where.
Sure. Uh, wherever I am, man.
Wherever you are. Okay. Let's just say it happened. Like you were about to leave the room after the other call, and then you get that one come in. So you just kind of just go right back in. Why not? Just back her right on up there.
Yeah.
Lord Cladu is going to say, well, hello, my Lexington friends. I was not expecting to hear back from you this soon. How? Uh, I got some vague something from my secretary. I only keep her around because her sister is best friends with my mother. Her note taking is awful. So what is the issue that I may be able to help you with?
Um, we were following a lead, and we got some information that we think is going to be very pertinent at when we get to our summit. But in the process, we ended up in what's that they called again?
Ardestians?
The Reds. What are they called again?
Ardestians.
Ardestian. We ended up in Ardestian space, and we are on our way out of Ardestian space. But in order to do so safely, we would like passage for this proposed flight plan, and I'm going to show them, you know,
I'm gonna say,
not the whole thing, but the stuff that's relevant to
yeah,
them.
say, ooh, he's not going to like that. That's oh, you just had to pick the territory of the Lord who likes me and you the least.
Hmm.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Um, where are you right now?
I'll show him.
Okay, so you're still probably outside his range. Is there any way that you can not?
Well, if we go farther south, we're going to get intercepted, and if we go around, we're going to be late to the summit.
Yeah, I was afraid of something like that. Okay. Okay.
Now, obviously, if there's concessions that need to be made, like they need to, escorts, they know that we're just flying past and not doing anything. We understand, but the goal is that we can just as quickly as we possibly can just pass through this space without causing any sort of issues for you.
Yes, I can imagine. I understand that. The question is whether he's going to. All right. Proceed, I guess. I mean, if you have no alternatives, I will do what I can on my end, but we don't be surprised if you get some unwelcome company, and if that happens, we will take this one step at a time.
Very well.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. And line clicks. So, okay. Brother, I thought you broke that.
Oh no, yeah, my three of my canes fold,
Nice.
so I can carry them in my backpack or store them in places.
Okay. Alrighty then. So let's see. Which do I want to pursue? let's go with the. Well, there's none of our team working on it, so I guess the stuff happening with the graviton bomb is just off-screen stuff, which is kind of
Yep.
anticlimactic. But okay, then let's just continue down this current thread, and that'll happen when it happens.
We make some checks on their behalf, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when that comes up. So all right, so
If
base.
something goes wrong, we're gonna have a fight.
I mean
The
that's
anti-gravity monsters.
all right. So 23 light years. So if you're going 3.5 light years a day, that's gonna take. Let's see to get about here. Man, my math is terrible. All right, 3.5 light years a day is 7 light years in 2 days. So 14. So within 4 days, which is actually the deadline for, well, let's say 3 days out, long range scanners are going to detect three Lestrin ships coming from Verona in your direction.
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
And
I'm going to have briefed the captain and told him that we should not go into red alert just because we see some ships.
yeah, oh yeah,
This is
he would
this
have
is the
been
process.
involved in this entire process.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
he would
yeah,
know, he would
definitely.
know. So that's
Yeah.
that's a given. So okay. Um, yeah, I guess by the time they get close enough, it'll have been day 4. So I guess let's figure out whether the graviton bomb thing worked out. So let me think. We need to do some rolls. Uh, well, I guess by standard practice, they need to be 50-50 rolls.
Mm.
Mm.
So, because if we don't have a NPC to do this,
Do they get a plus 15 from fear?
no, no, they don't. Uh, all right, so let me think this one through. So, Fish, are you involved in this process in any way, shape, or form?
Is there a bonus if I do?
Well, there.
Well, I mean, I kind of was the one that told them. I was told to have them do it.
Okay, then that's fine. Then hey,
Yeah,
if that's how it is, that's how it is. That's good. All right.
it's the unpaid. Yeah, it's. I just hope it doesn't end up as another when I had them all make the cures for waking up the Reds, and then they wanted.
Yeah, that was fun. Let's see here.
But to be fair, that was more of me personally misinterpreting Crystal's instructions.
Let me see something here.
If they can't make one, I'll try to make my own gravity bomb because I did have a theory on it.
Actually, you know what? Let's say Chris would have been on this because if he was here, he would have been on this. So we're going to use his sheet. So
Hmm.
this is going to be an astrophysics, intelligence, and let's see. I'll give you the numbers. I'm just doing it myself real quick. Excuse me. What would that be? Astrophysics, intelligence, and got to be something mechanical. If you're looking at your sheets, look through it and see if there's anything that I might be overlooking that might help.
For what this is?
Okay, so this I'm trying to figure out what. So it's going to be intelligence and astrophysics, and I'm trying to think of a third skill that would apply to making a device like this.
Well, it depends. Are we talking about
It's a bomb.
as as a bomb? We could probably do um as a bomb. We could probably get away with starship weaponry, but I think either way we could get away with mechanical engineering.
Okay.
Maybe computer technology for calculations.
Oh
Um.
yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe we can get the. Well, the more skills we put in this, the worse the odds get.
Whatever his best skill is, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? Let's say that they're basing it broadly on the technology in a photon torpedo. At least some, like some technic, like, well, the Tavarans are not going to have the ability to make a photon torpedo. but some of the implementation of like the implosion device and all that can be applied. All right, so this is going to be Starship Weaponry Technology. Let's go with that because that's better than his mechanical engineering. All right, so let me feed you the numbers. That's going to be 82 plus
I swear.
20 plus. This is actually going to be worse than a 50. Oops.
Hmm.
29 equals divided by 3 equals 44. But we'll give him a plus 15 because he's working with a team. So you're working
Nice.
with a, let's see, 44 plus 15, that is going to be
59?
59. So who wants to roll that?
I believe in you, Tim.
I thought it was your turn.
Really? Yeah, I guess it is. But now the pressure's on me.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, I gotta. Boop. Hey!
All right, you have what appears to be a successful design. At least it's successful enough that the Tavarans should accept it. So that should work for them. So,
Sure, 3 people broke their arms in the process, but I mean, hey.
Small price to pay.
Yeah.
okay. All right. So you got that
Can't
done.
make an omelet without breaking a few arms.
Something like that. All right. So, yeah, let's have that conversation first because the thing with the ships might take longer. So, all right. So you want to let them know about the device that you just invented?
Oh, I thought they were just sending the schematics over, but I mean, sure, I can call them.
Probably need to just tell them, but sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
The thing has been made.
All right. So you call and you get all 5 of them and say, just however you want to say it.
Yeah. So we have finished those calculations. We have the schematics ready. Should I send it to you, or is there a dedicated science team you would like me to send it directly to?
Ferraro would say it should go to us. We have the most advanced science out of all the nations.
I mean, if no one objects, then I'm just going to do that.
And
So
no
we
one
should
is
send it
going
to all.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Very good. We will get work on this. Get working on this as quickly as possible, of course. I hope for all of our sakes
With the claw.
that this works. And it's going to cut out again.
All right. Cool.
Kusanar is going to say, I'm probably hoping more than anyone here. I say, thank you.
Hey,
And
just out of curiosity, how would that work? Like, if you did have to, if you did end up relocating to another planet, would you like take a seed from the tree, or
well, from what I understand, I would have to go down the metaphorical ship. If none of my people would be willing to leave, I would stay with them. So that would be a non-question.
would the
How much
existence
blood?
would the existence of a sapling from that tree going to another planet be an incentive for anybody?
That would now if
Like,
it
hey,
does,
someone needs to go tend this thing.
yeah. Honestly, that is a good point. I could bring that up if God Archons forbid that we're unsuccessful and it seems yes we are going to all die. I will, as the Archon, say we need a group of us. Well, not well. I guess I should have to go. They would be very upset if I died, but a group of us to take a sapling from the tree in order to continue it on in New Sumera or something. Yes, that I think that's about the only situation under which I could even have any chance of changing anyone's minds. If only it was simpler than that. But I'm working with the hand that I've been dealt.
Gets PTSD from the hand they saw without its skin.
Very nice. She's gonna see you on the screen and just shudder slightly. It's like, All right, I think that's all I've got. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Yeah. Get off the call.
Fish has that effect on people.
I've seen that look. She's gonna have a few nightmares about me for the next few years.
Get off the call. Turn to fish. We really need to teach these people how to cheat at cards.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No one is stuck with the hand they're dealt.
Yes.
I told no, of course. I mean, I have plenty of spare hands lying around. Doesn't everybody?
Oh man, I got a closet full of them, right? Yeah, who doesn't?
Mm.
All right. So about this time, the so the Lestrin ships, they are getting to they're now within hailing range,
Mhm.
better sensor range, and you see it's two cruisers and a smaller ship, a frigate of some type. And yes, they're still heading on an intercept course. They have not attempted to make any kind of communication. They will intercept you in about 12 hours
Okay. Are we going to hail them?
if you want.
I feel like that's Matt's decision is the problem.
Well, I think he would. I can't imagine he would say no, but we're going to have to go with what we would assume he would do in his
I mean,
absence. So,
he's a communications guy, so I
yes,
could see him.
yes. So that sure that happens. But they don't respond.
Okay. Oh, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, like, we were told to progress. We were told that they were going to work on it. We are aware that they were maybe sending people. We are actively not showing any hostility. We're not doing any sort of scans or anything. And they're close enough that they can see that. We have reached out to say hi. If they want to ignore that, then they're going to ignore it. Like, there's nothing else we can really do unless they open fire on us.
We can make him sandwiches.
We could make them sandwiches.
I mean that would be a novel approach, but okay.
I'll go get sandwiches.
Yeah, go get some bread.
Yeah.
You think they eat turkey?
Everyone eats turkey.
Fair.
I mean, maybe.
Some variation of poultry, usually.
Some variation of poultry usually. Okay.
I don't understand why you have to make it bug.
All right. So yeah, right now it's been you're 6 days into the.
I forget. Do we still have like one Iosian crewmate, or was that guy like
No,
back?
no, there's no IOCNs on board.
Huh.
All right.
Oh,
So you're gonna finally get a communication from Cladu. He's gonna say, it didn't go well. You how there should be some ships heading your way, I'm guessing.
two cruisers and a frigate. Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. All right. I have tried my best, but so fun fact about this guy: his son, actually, all of his sons, all eight of them, have been killed by the Cochrans, and in his mind, you're the same as they are.
Hmm.
So he just to say he's bloodthirsty, he might as well be an Ardestian as far as it's concerned, as much as he wants. He was the only dissenting voice in our agreements to have the peace summit. So I'm going to
Whereabouts on
try.
this path are we?
All right, on this map, you are right now approximately. Let's see, let me measure this out. If you're currently 5 days in, that's going to mean that you are 7.5 light years. So you're right
And
there.
this guy sounds like a real Lord of River Run.
Are we in their territory?
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Am I getting my math wrong here? No, you travel 3.5 light years a day. Sorry, not 1.5. I'm measuring that wrong. So it's 3.5, 7.
Didn't you say it was? Wait, didn't you say it was 3 light years a day?
You're at warp 8.5. You're going 3.5 light years a day.
And this is like 5 days in.
So wait, 5 days in.
Well, 5 days in would be less 15. 16 and a half. Right? Wait, no.
That would be, yeah. So that's right. So I got my numbers wrong. So yeah, you're about right there, and so the other ships are pretty much almost right on top of you at this point.
Right. Are we far enough up that we can like cut over?
Um, Last you saw on the scope, those are Destian ships. If you cut over, yeah, you're basically the way this course is plotted. Any sharper in, and you run the risk of them intercepting you.
Hmm. And the Lestern ships are just as fast as us?
No, but they are. I mean, they're heading. You're heading in opposite directions, so
Yeah.
you would have to turn around in order to avoid them.
Right. But I mean, if we don't stop to fight them, then they have to give chase.
That is true.
Like,
I mean, that is true. If you want to try that.
I mean, it's worth a shot, right?
Shh, I brought the sandwiches.
Throw them out the window at them. just just drop them out of warp on the way by with just a middle finger painted on them.
No, I'll just cut out I'll cut them out into middle fingers.
Is this an Earth greeting of peace? All right. Well, we will play out how that goes, I believe, next week.
All right,
11.
excellent.
All right, gentlemen, that was a fantastic session. Very productive. You both did lovely, as always. Great solutions to problems. It's the kind of session I like to have. So, all right. So a point for both of you, of course. Yeah.
Do I get a roll for fear mongering, like skill?
I don't know. Um, insert witty transition here. Hey Tim, tell us about Extra Life.
So, Extra Life is this cool thing that we do where we raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals by way of playing games. This is every game that we play throughout the year is part of this, but we are building up to a 24-hour gaming event that will happen in the first weekend of November, 12 hours Saturday and Sunday. And that event is going to be called the Hungry Dark. It is a D&D 3.5 one shot in which your donations allow you to utilize divine power and interfere or help with the story. So check out the link that's posted in chat to go to the our Rabbit Haberdashery team page on Extra Life, and you can get some information there. There's a link to a full page of information, and you can see ways to donate to any of the hospitals that people on our team are supporting. Mostly it's Boston Children's, Oshai in Buffalo, and Bay State in Springfield. So please check those out. Help us help kids. Every cent you donate goes to the hospital. None of it comes here. None of it goes to overhead. We would really appreciate your help with that. And keep an eye out for how your donation can directly impact the story of the Hungry Dark.
Alrighty. So yes, please check that out. That is going to be a fun time for all, as it always is. But unfortunately, the fun for tonight is over. So I will see you all next week. And until then, as always, live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.